Thank you for joining us this evening. Today we'll be talking about No Child Left Behind and how it affects the children in our society. Standardized testing has proved to be probably not the best process or term to give to our students in order to predict their outcome in life. Today we'll be talking to Abigail. How are you, Abigail?
I'm good.
Everything's doing well? So how old are you now?
I'm 12.
12? Really? You're 12 years old. What's the name of your school?
Um, J.W. Dodd.
Did you come from school today?
No.
Oh, you didn't? That must be a relief.
Yeah.
It is a relief? I know not every kid likes school. I sure didn't want to go to school, and I probably pulled the hot thermometer under the stove and put it in my mouth with my mother quite a few times. Today we're talking about the tests, the standardized tests, and we have to come to some kind of conclusion about this, at least from speaking to you today. I know that it has been such a trying time for so many students. Is there any subject that you think your teachers try to push more than you would like?
I would say English.
English. What is it about English that you may not be too happy with?
It's just like for the state test,
Okay.
they have, you have to do a lot of short responses, and it's just the way the format of the short response is kind of confusing, and it takes a long time to get used to. So it just makes you look back at the passage, and the questions are confusing.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the Common Core, it puts in little tricks in there.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to be able to handle it all and find everything you need to get it all correct.
Okay. Now you're 12 years old, correct? With Common Core curriculum, how does that work? Do you guys learn 70% of the year and the other 30% you have to study for the test? Because I've read that somewhere.
I would say so, yeah.
Is that true? You just wind up dropping the textbook and whatever you're doing and you just study for the test towards the end of the year?
Mhm.
How do you feel about that? As far as learning, how does that make you feel?
It's okay, I guess, because they have a lot of teaching, and some of it is kind of pressuring, and then they have a whole bunch of tests you have to study for, and it takes a while. And the studying, you have to be specific with what you're studying for the test so you understand what you're doing.
There's a lot of pressure there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of expectation.
Yes.
Now, do you feel that's fair, to put on the students, or do you believe that maybe the school is pushing too hard?
I think they're pushing too hard. I would say so.
Yeah, I actually heard from a teacher that I know. He was telling me how the 5th grade mathematics was actually, in the verbiage they used, more like for 9th grade, the language they use. And that seems to be a terrible
Yes,
problem.
they do. They started that since 5th grade, and the teacher said this is 8th grade work, and all the kids are why? So they have certain words in there that you have to study from 5th grade while you're really supposed to study it in the 8th and 9th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to figure out, why do they need to make you have to go so far out of your league
Mm-hmm.
just to do the test properly? And it makes no sense why they have to make it so difficult for the 5th graders. I mean, they're not that old.
Yeah.
And you're just putting more to yourself that you really need.
Yeah. Have any of your teachers ever said anything about this? Oh, I don't like maybe I know you guys have to study for the test, but,
All of our teachers actually say that.
they're not,
Yeah, they don't like it, but they said they have to do it.
so they're not advocates for the test really, but they have to do it.
Yep, they have to do it.
I'm kind of new with this whole
Yeah.
curriculum test thing. Back when I was a student, they didn't really have this core curriculum thing. It came right after. I did take the SAT though when they put a little too much in there, and we all got failing grades, including the geniuses,
Yeah.
and they had to give us an extra 500 points. But do you think this will just get worse as the years get longer?
I would
as
say so, yes.
school goes on? You think
It
so?
would get worse, because it's since a while ago, when I was in 3rd grade, the tests were simple and easy, but then the further grades you get, the harder it is.
Mhm.
Because I know from my little brother, he's 6 and 2nd grade, and he's doing, when I was in 2nd grade work, the 2nd grade work was 2nd grade level, he's doing work I never seen in second grade before, and it's so difficult. Like sometimes I myself can't even figure out what he's trying to do, and they expect him to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
So since the years passed, it's been getting more and more difficult to do the testing. And
So I really feel that from the people I've spoken to and things that are happening, that this is extremely stressful for the students. Extremely stressful. Yes, you said there's pressure, and it's extremely stressful. Now, I don't want to be too personal, but do you feel like anxious because of these things? Do you feel like they shouldn't, like, I wish there was another way? Or is it just like, I just got to do it?
for me, it is kind of like that. I'm like, I'll just do the test.
Just got to do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good attitude. Just do it. So you're not like,
Yeah.
I'd be freaking out probably.
Yeah, most of the kids are like, oh my gosh, the tests are coming. And I'm just like, I just have to take it.
Yeah, just have to take it.
Yeah, like for me, doing the test, it's like they give us, I noticed the teacher said it, that they give us levels that are above our ability, so they try to
Yeah.
push you.
Mm-hmm.
And some questions you don't even know how to answer, so you just have to try what you know. And that's probably the reason why the grades are so low, because they give such difficult questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why they do that, but they do it. So I'm just like, I guess I just have to take it.
So in talking about the students, how are your other friends really feel about this? I know you said some of them are like, oh, I got to take the test.
Yeah.
Do you feel they do worse test taking? Or do you feel like taking these kind of tests kind of like minimize your ability instead of maximizing your ability because of the pressure?
I would say it minimizes it, but then again, in other terms, it maximizes it, because I guess it makes you think more, and that sharpens your ability when you get into the older, higher grades. But it weakens you, and like a lot of kids I know complain that they were tired after it and they didn't want to do it anymore. And you had 3 whole days, well, not 3 whole days, like a few hours of just testing straight.
I was curious if you had any ideas of, as the student, being the one taking these tests, if there is something you see that you think can help this process that this government is handing you.
All I could say is they can do the test, but they don't have to make it as strict and weird as it is now. Like, they can make you feel at least a bit more relaxed, and give you questions that are at your ability, instead of making you have to go through a whole bunch of trouble to do a whole bunch of things. You only have 90 minutes to do the test, and you have like at least 6 passages to do over 3 days. You have like 40 questions, multiple choice questions, and a few short responses and 2 essays. So it's like the essays, you have to make sure you read everything, because they make you go back into the passages and pick out information, then bring it back, and you have to specifically write out the essay, which the good thing about the essays is they give you tips on how to do it properly, little bullets at the bottom. And it's just like they make you go through a whole bunch of trouble to get it. And I mean, I've done the essays, and I've seen I did horrible on them, even when I tried to get all the information I could get. So it's like confusing, because the teachers tell you what you need to do, and then when you try to do it on a test, you end up failing anyway. So I would say they're finding something else that they're not seeing, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. So Abigail, before we end, I wanted to ask you, what is it you want to do?
Well, for me, in the future, actually I can add more. I wanted to, since I do have my specific art style, I actually wanted to create my own series.
Series?
Yeah.
Series of?
Anime.
Oh, anime and things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that, and I also wanted to be, since I play piano a little and bass, I wanted to be a professional bass player.
That's cool.
And a forensic doctor or scientist, one or the other.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's your highest grade you ever got in math? Trick question.
90.
Okay, that's good. 'Cause I said trick question, I tricked myself. Okay, all right, great. Well, I want to thank you for coming in today and giving us all this valuable information. Good luck with all your studies and your art and your music, and hopefully I'll see you on stage one of these days.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us again tonight, and join us for our next session where we will be interviewing a few teachers to see how this whole standardized testing really affects them.